Course. So, hey Blake, it's great being here. Hey Khaled, everybody on the channel. I hope any of you are watching. Just saw the guest list earlier, and it's going to be awesome. So, my name is Liran Haimovitch. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Rookout. Like many young Israeli entrepreneurs, I kind of spent the early parts of my career doing cybersecurity. And about 5 years ago, I kind of shifted from cybersecurity, deciding to go into DevTools, which is, I think, for many engineers, kind of the dream job of building the tools for ourselves. And along the way, we try to kind of figuring out what kind of edge can we bring, what can we do with our cybersecurity mindset to do better in dev tools and DevOps and so on. And that's kind of how we came to Rookout. Rookout is using cybersecurity technologies to essentially dynamically instrument applications so you can debug them on the fly. You can essentially look into your code, any line of code, and see exactly what's going on in it. You can get variable values, you can get stack traces, you can know exactly what's going on within your code. So there's whenever you're not sure, why is this happening? Is there a bug? I rolled out a new feature, is it working or not? And so on and so forth. Just dig into the code, and everything was built from the ground up to be production grade, so you can operate at any scale in sensitive and secure environments, and you kind of package all of that for you in a very nice IDE-like interface, and you can just get it out of the gate and start working.
Very cool. It's really cool to hear that.
Liran, I love this idea. Oh, sorry, Blake.
No,
I got a little delay here. I love this idea of production debugging. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because it's not something I have experience with or I've seen, but it sounds like super powerful and interesting.
So I think it goes back a bit to one of the biggest projects I managed back when I was doing cybersecurity. We're doing an endpoint monitoring tool, and it kept dying out on us, kept having to be reinstalled, which was a huge mess for us. And I literally spent 6 months of my life chasing that bug down. And I'm sure every senior engineer has their own set of horror stories about bugs. And the thing is, you have some observability in place, you're getting some logs, you're getting some metrics, so you have some understanding of what's going on. Something goes wrong, but what's happening in between? What's happening between the data you know about everything going right and something's going wrong? And that's where you're blind. And what we did back then, and what I see most engineers doing today, is just start spraying logs. You add a bunch of logs in the middle, and then you pray you're going to get it. But it's a very tedious process. It takes forever. And there is usually more than error than tried here. You're just getting it wrong time after time after time until you finally get it right. And it's so time-consuming and so painful. And Rookout is changing that by allowing you to insert those logs instantly. Just say, I want a log here, get a log here. I want a snapshot here, I want a metric here. And we instantly add that to the running application so that you can see into the code, see what's going on, and stop with the guessing.
So you don't have to recompile or do anything, restart, you just do it on the fly.
You don't have to recompile, you don't have to restart, you don't have to redeploy. You select a server or a group of servers from our web console, and then we automatically load the source code for the correct revision that's running right now on that server, select the line of code, and see what's happening inside of it.
Wow. Sounds awesome.
Thank you. It's really cool. And we've got a link in the chat to Rookout and also to Liran's profile on DZone. And what t-shirt are you wearing today, Liran?
Oh, it's the Rookout t-shirt. One of the things I loved about Rookout is our brand. We have an amazing graphic designer who's the brand. We have a bunch of stickers. I always love shipping people, so feel free to give me a shout over email, Twitter, whatever, if you want some swag. We've got some of the coolest stickers you'll ever see.
Oh, that's awesome. And then how did you find DZone, and talk a little bit about the articles you've been sharing on there?
So DZone has always been interesting resources for me. I think early on when I started Rookout, I spent actually most of my career in C++, and it was very obvious out of the gate we want Java support. And actually Java was one of the first runtimes we supported. Today we support, in addition to Java, .NET, Python, Ruby, and Node. But back then, I didn't know Java. I didn't know anything about it. And most of what I know about Java and most of what I know about bytecode manipulation, Java instrumentation, of that, I kind of learned off DZone. So I was exposed to it very early on. And as we started writing content around Java, around microservices, around cloud, obviously DZone was one of the first outlets that was on my list to write in and contribute back to the community.
Excellent. That's great. Thanks so much for joining us today. Any final questions on your side, Kelly?
No, I think it sounds awesome. It sounds like the next step in kind of like making DevOps and development more productive. So I would love, I'm thankful you were on here to tell us about it. I hope the people listening and the people in the community will get a chance to check out Rookout for sure.
I hope so. Would love to chat with you. Just reach out online.
Awesome.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for that, Liran. Really exciting to have you join us live today from Israel. That's Liran with Rookout. And again, that's in the chat. Very excited to have you on. All right. So
thank you. Thanks, guys.